Welcome to Retro Sparkle Designs. Today's tutorial will be going over the Zavayla leggings. We will need 2 back pieces, 2 side panels, whether they are the full panel or the partial panel, and 2 front pieces. Take note of the layout here just so you're not mixing your pattern pieces up. Your back pant pieces are going to be the tallest and they should all kind of angle downwards towards your front. We will need our main bow pieces. Double check the chart for your size to see how many of those you need. And then we will also need bow centers and then 1 waistband. We will begin with transferring our markings for our bow pieces onto our back pieces. And then we should also transfer those onto the side panels. Since my print is very dark and was very difficult to try to use a erasable marker on, I just marked them with pins. So I'm going to line that back piece up with my front and just pin in the same spot. And I'll repeat that for my side panels as well. With the markings transferred, we're going to take our front panels here and place them right sides together, pin that crotch seam, and then go ahead and sew that. And we'll repeat that with the back pieces as well. Now we're going to begin prepping the bows. Take your main bow pieces and fold them in half, right sides together, and then we're going to pin and sew that bottom edge. Go ahead and repeat that for all of your bow pieces. Now for the bow centers, we're going to take those and fold them in half, right sides together. We're going to pin and sew the longer edge. Repeat that for all bow centers. Now take your bow mains and go ahead and flip those right sides out. And we're going to do the same thing for our bow centers. I just have this little skinny stick here that I'm using to help with that. You can use a tube turner or a paintbrush or honestly whatever you want. And then we're going to take those bow centers and we're going to fold them in half, right sides together again, aligning those raw edges, and then pin those raw edges, and we're going to sew them. Now go ahead and take your bow centers and flip them right sides out again. So that seam is on the inside. And then we're going to take our centers and put them onto our main bow pieces. So I like to use a pair of tweezers and I'll slide my bow center over the tweezers and then grab the bow main and kind of slide the center onto the bow. It's a little bit difficult and a little tedious, but go ahead and get those all on there and set your bows aside. Here we have all of our completed bows. There are 2 ways to align our bows onto our side panels and onto our front. I'm going to show you the way that I prefer to do it first and then how the instructions have it written. Now go ahead and take your front piece and we're going to lay that right sides up. So both sides are facing right sides up. And then we're going to pin the bows at the markings. So take your bows and place them right sides down with the front panel and pin in place. I like to use 2 to make sure both of my bottom and top of my bow pieces will be getting into my seam and nothing's getting stuck out. Now that our bows are pinned to the front piece, we're going to take our panel and lay it down right sides together with the front, making sure the bows are sandwiched in between both of those. Make sure your side panel is facing the correct direction with the taller point facing towards the back of the pants. So the shorter edge will be right sides together with the front pants. Once your side panel is pinned in place, you can go onto the opposite side and just pin those bows in place as well. The other way that we can do this is here we will be transferring our markings onto our side panels, which if you've already done that, great. And here's how I did it. Again, just lining up my side panel next to the front pants and transferring those markings over. For the back side, go ahead and just flip your panel wrong sides up, align the bottom edges, and you can transfer your markings that way. And then take your bows and they're going to be right sides facing up. So the wrong side will be facing the right side of your side panel, and then pin your bows in place on each side of your side panel. And then with your bows pinned in place on your side panel, take your side panel and place it right sides together with your front. And this again will sandwich your bows in between your front and your side panel. Go ahead and pin the side panel and your bows to your front and then sew. Here is our side panel and our bows sewn to our front. Now we will be taking our back pants piece and we will be placing it right sides together with our front and side panel piece. We're going to again align those bows to the side markings on our back piece and then pin your side panel to your back piece, right sides together, and aligning again those bow markings. And I like to use 2 pins, so I pin the top and the bottom of the bow just to make sure when I'm sewing that the top or the bottom edge of the bow aren't getting out of my seam allowance. Then repeat for the other side and sew those together. Go ahead and prep your waistband now as well. So take your waistband, fold it in half, right sides together, pin and sew that short edge. Now take your waistband and fold in half again, wrong sides together, aligning those raw edges, and then we're going to quarter it as well. I like to use my seam as my first kind of quarter point, and then go ahead and mark the other spots with a pin. Here we have our legging fully sewn together. Go ahead and flip them right sides out. And you can see our bows are setting nicely on our side panel between our front and our back. And next we will be adding the waistband. So quarter the waist of your leggings first, and then take your waistband and place it over the top of your leggings, aligning those quarter points and those raw edges, and then go ahead and pin and sew in place. We will also be hemming the bottom edge of our pants. So take that bottom edge, fold it under 1/2 inch, pin, and then top stitch to hem. And here we have our completed leggings.